You do not have thousands of dollars sitting in your bank account. There is no rich uncle coming to save you. No crypto coin turning you into a millionaire overnight. No lucky break waiting around the corner. Most days, you are just trying to make your money last until the next paycheck. And somehow, $100 disappears so easily. A few meals, a weekend out, random things you cannot even remember buying a week later. The money goes fast. But when it comes to investing, that same $100 suddenly feels too important to let go of. Too small to change your life. Too valuable to risk. So most people wait. They wait until they earn more, until life feels stable, until the right time finally comes. But what if that tiny $100 could quietly change your future? Not overnight, not dramatically. Slowly, then all at once. So you make one simple decision. Every Friday, $100 leaves your account automatically. No complicated plan, no stock trading, no watching charts all day, just a simple index fund and one small weekly transfer. At first, it feels almost silly. Nobody celebrates their first $100 investment. Nobody feels rich after buying a few shares of an index fund. The account barely moves. Some weeks it goes up a little. Some weeks it drops. But something important has already started. Because wealth does not begin when the numbers get big. It begins the moment you stop waiting and start repeating the right action. The first year does not look impressive at all. And that is exactly why most people quit. The first few months feel quiet, almost too quiet. You keep sending the $100 every week, but the account barely changes. One week it goes up by $8. The next week it drops by $12. You look at the numbers more than you should, before bed, during lunch, randomly in the middle of the day. Sometimes you feel excited for a second. Then the market falls again and the feeling disappears. Nothing about this part feels powerful. There is no big moment, no sudden breakthrough, no sign that your life is changing. The account still looks small. Your regular problems are still there. Bills still come. Work still feels the same. And slowly, a question starts showing up in your mind. Is this even worth it? Because when people imagine investing, they picture fast growth and freedom. They do not picture waiting months just to see a few extra dollars. They do not picture the boring middle where nothing seems to happen. But this is where the real work begins. Not in the money. In you. You are teaching yourself to keep going even when there is no reward yet, even when nobody notices, even when the results feel invisible. That kind of discipline feels pointless in the beginning because the future is still too far away to see. But the people who build wealth are usually the people who learn how to stay during this stage. Most investing journeys do not fail because people lose money. They fail because people lose patience. Something strange starts happening after a while. You stop thinking about the $100 as missing money. In the beginning, every transfer felt like giving something up. A dinner out, new clothes, a weekend plan. But now the money leaves your account and life keeps moving normally. You still eat, you still laugh with friends, you still live your life. Nothing fell apart. And that changes something inside you. You begin to notice how often people spend money without thinking. Small purchases, fast decisions, things that feel important for 1 hour and meaningless the next day. For the first time, you slow down before spending. Not because you are scared, because you are aware. The habit is starting to change the way you think. You no longer see money only as something to use today. You start seeing it as something that can build tomorrow. And slowly, waiting becomes easier. You stop needing rewards right away. You stop checking the account every few hours. The process becomes calmer, more normal. The weekly investment is no longer a big decision. It becomes part of your life, like brushing your teeth or paying your bills. That is when the real shift happens. Because building wealth is not only about numbers growing in an account. It is about becoming the kind of person who can stay consistent long enough to let those numbers grow. You are no longer someone hopping to build wealth. You are becoming someone who does. A year passes, then another. One day, you open the app and the number feels different. Not huge, not shocking, just real. The account is no longer a few $100s that can disappear without meaning anything. Now it has weight. A few $1,000s sitting there because of small choices you kept repeating. For the first time, the future stops feeling imaginary. You begin noticing something else too. The money you invested earlier is starting to help the new money grow. The first shares you bought are making gains of their own. Small gains, but steady ones. It feels strange watching money slowly build on top of money. At first, you were the only person feeding the account. Now time is helping. A good month in the market suddenly adds more money than one weekly deposit. Not a life-changing amount, but enough to make you pause and stare at the screen a little longer. Because now the process feels believable. You start understanding why people talk about compounding with so much respect. Not because it looks exciting in the beginning, but because one day you realize the growth is no longer coming only from you. And that changes everything. The account still does not make you rich. Your life still looks normal from the outside. You still go to work. You still pay bills. But deep down, something feels more stable now. You built this slowly. And for the first time, you believe it could become something much bigger. And then the market crashes. At first, the drop does not seem serious. A few red numbers, a bad week, people online saying the market will recover soon. Then it keeps falling. The account you spent years building starts shrinking faster than you thought possible. Hundreds of dollars disappear. Then more. The same app that once gave you hope now makes your chest feel tight every time you open it. You start doing the math in your head. How much more could I lose? For the first time, investing stops feeling calm and starts feeling personal. You think about pausing the weekly deposits, just until things feel safer, just until the market settles down. That idea sounds smart in your head. Then another thought appears. What if this keeps getting worse? Fear changes the way time feels. Every bad market day feels longer than normal life. Every headline feels louder. Every red number feels important. And this is the moment that separates people. Not when the market is rising, when it is falling. Because anyone can invest when everything looks safe. The hard part is continuing when your emotions are begging you to stop. But Friday comes anyway. And the automatic investment still happens. Another $100 leaves your account. Not because you feel confident, not because you know the future, but because the habit is stronger now than the fear. The schedule does not negotiate with fear. Weeks later, the market is still messy. People are panicking. Some sell everything and promise never to invest again. But quietly, your $100 keeps buying shares at lower prices. You do not fully understand it yet. But this painful season will become one of the most important parts of your entire journey. Then, slowly, things begin to change again. The market starts recovering, not in one big moment, just small green days mixed between the bad ones. At first, you barely notice it, but over time, the account begins climbing faster than before. And something feels different now. Before the crash, every dollar in the account mostly came from you, from your job, your time, your weekly $100 deposits. Now the account is helping itself grow. The shares you bought during the hard months are rising in value. Money you invested years ago is making new money on its own. For the first time, the growth feels bigger than your effort. You open the app one day and realize the account gained more this month than your total deposits. That moment stays with you. Because suddenly, investing no longer feels like pushing a heavy rock uphill. The machine has started moving on its own. This is the part people struggle to understand in the beginning. Compounding looks weak at first because time has not had enough room to work yet. But once it starts building speed, the growth changes shape. The account no longer grows in straight lines. It starts bending upward. And quietly, your money starts working harder than you do. You still go to work every day. You still trade hours for paychecks. But somewhere in the background, your investments are growing while you sleep, while you eat, while you live your normal life. For the first time, you feel real momentum. Not fantasy. Not hype. Something calmer. Something steady. And that feeling changes the way you see your future forever. After a few years, the biggest change is no longer the account balance. It is you. You become more patient without even noticing it at first. You stop expecting life to change overnight. You understand that real growth takes time, whether it is money, health, or anything else worth building. The need to buy things quickly starts fading too. Not completely. You still enjoy life, you still spend money, but now there is a small pause before every purchase, a quiet question in your mind. Do I really want this? That pause changes everything. You stop wasting money on things that only make you happy for one afternoon. You begin caring more about peace than appearances, more about freedom than looking rich. And slowly, the fear around money becomes smaller. Bad market days no longer ruin your mood. News headlines stop controlling your emotions. You understand that markets rise and fall like weather. Temporary storms do not scare you the way they used to. You stop reacting. You start observing. And something else happens that nobody talks about enough. You begin thinking differently from many people around you. While others spend every raise immediately, you think about investments. While others chase fast money, you think about time. Your mindset becomes quieter, slower, more focused on the future. That change can feel lonely sometimes. Not because you think you are better than anyone else, but because your goals are different now. The way you see money is different now. You are building something most people cannot see yet. And when growth is still invisible to others, it can feel like walking alone for a while. 10 years later, you open the account again and you just stop for a moment. What you see is not what you expected. The total value is far bigger than anything you ever put in yourself. The money you added over the years feels small compared to what the account has become now. At first, it almost looks like nothing was happening. The first few years were slow. You were adding small amounts, and it did not feel like it was changing much. But something was building in silence. Then the change comes. After a few years, the growth starts to move faster. The account begins to rise in a way you did not see before. What once felt slow suddenly becomes powerful. The money starts to grow on its own, and each year adds more than the last. When you compare it, you realize something important. What you put in is not what made the biggest difference. Time did. Those small amounts you thought were too small were actually doing the real work. They were just waiting for time to multiply them. And now it hits you clearly. The early years mattered the most, even when nothing looked exciting. The later years became explosive because the foundation was already built. You understand that patience was the hidden force behind everything. Every small step was part of something bigger you could not see at the start. And in that moment, you see the truth. The account grew, but so did you. At this point, everything comes together in a different way. This was never only about investing money. It was never just about numbers going up or down. What you were really building was something deeper without even noticing it. You were building discipline because you kept going even when it felt slow. You were building consistency because you did small actions again and again. You were building identity because slowly you became the kind of person who does not quit. And you were building trust in time, even when you could not see results yet. Most people wait for a big chance. They wait for a better job, a bigger salary, or a perfect moment to start. But real life shows something different. Wealth, success, and change often start in very small and simple actions that repeat over time. That is what makes the difference. Not one big move, but many small ones that never stop. And when you look back, you realize the real result was never only the final amount in the account. It was who you became while waiting for it to grow. In the beginning, $100 felt too small to matter. In the end, it mattered because you never stopped.